To revolutionize means to completely alter or transform something. Similar to how Amazon transformed the retail industry today, Ward achieved a similar feat for his era with his mail-order catalog. While other companies were producing catalogs, Ward's was the first widely accessible to the public. He recognized the need for a retail revolution and addressed it in a groundbreaking manner, fundamentally changing the way Americans shopped. Aaron Montgomery. Ward spent years as a traveling salesman in rural areas. He envisioned launching a mail-order business to provide city goods to his rural customers, who had limited access to a variety of products and had to rely on local retailers who often lacked competition and quality assurance. Ward believed he could improve the situation by eliminating the middleman and reducing costs for customers. He proposed that customers could order goods by mail and collect them at the nearest train station. However, he faced initial challenges, including the departure of his partners and the loss of most of his inventory in the Great Chicago Fire. Despite these setbacks, Ward persisted. In 1872, he established Montgomery Ward and published the inaugural catalog, personally writing a single sheet listing 163 items for sale. The concept gained traction, especially after the Illinois Grange, a farmers' organization, appointed Ward as its purchasing agent, providing him with mailing lists that propelled his business. Ward enlisted the support of his future brother-in-law, Richard Thorne, for financial backing and managerial assistance. Although Ward's top-selling item was the sewing machine, his main clientele consisted of farmers. He sourced products from smaller manufacturers in foreign markets to offer them at lower prices. As sales grew, Ward introduced another revolutionary concept in 1875, a satisfaction guarantee or a refund policy, unprecedented at the time. He categorized products as good, better, and best, and encouraged customers to pool their orders to minimize freight costs. By 1883, the company catalog, now referred to as the Wish Book, was gone. Had over 10,000 items on its 240 pages. By 1892, there were 568 pages and 8,000 illustrations. Ward's revolutionary idea was now a resounding success, and that meant others wanted to try their hand in the catalog business too. Sears Roebuck Company debuted their first catalog in 1896, and the two became fierce competitors. By this time, Ward and Thorne turned managerial control of the company over to Thorne's sons. Montgomery Ward opened a catalog warehouse in Chicago, known as the Montgomery Ward & Company Catalog House, along the North Branch of the Chicago River in 1908. It served as the company headquarters until 1974, and it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places and as a National Historic Land. It became a Chicago Historic Landmark in the year 2000. In 1926, the company expanded and built a retail store in Plymouth, Indiana. They launched an aggressive campaign to build more stores, and by 1929, they had 531 retail stores, with its flagship location on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. The Great Depression brought great strife for Montgomery Ward. They declined a merger offer from Sears and lost a great deal of money, causing major investor J.P. Morgan to hire Sewell Avery as president to try and salvage it. He did, too. By the end of the decade, Montgomery Ward was the country's largest retailer. Green awning stores popped up in towns all across the United States. As part of the Christmas promotional campaign in 1939, a staff writer created the character of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In 1946, the store published 6 million copies of the book, and Gene Autry breathed life into the now famous song. Montgomery Ward's was beloved. In 1946, the Grolier Club in New York City selected the Ward's catalog as one of the 100 American books most influential on life and culture in America. Some people even nicknamed it. It reportedly once sold exotic monkeys in a few stores and through their catalog. The tide turned, however, in 1944. U.S. Army troops took over the Chicago offices after the company refused to settle the 4-month-long strike by the company's workers. President Roosevelt thought it affected the delivery of needed goods in wartime. Avery, Ward's president, refused to comply with the War Labor Board and did not recognize the union or the terms of collective bargaining. President Roosevelt issued an executive order 8 months later, seizing all of the Montgomery Ward's properties across the nation. President Truman, in 1945, ended the seizure and everyone moved on. In the years that followed, Ward's was slow to respond to America's suburban growth. Sears always seemed to get the best locations in the new shopping centers, as did J.C. Penney, Macy's, Gimbel's, and Dillard's. Ward's stuck with their downtown and Main Street stores. By now, Ward's had grown. Those stores were looking worn, disheveled and outdated, and malls simply didn't want Ward's to be in them. To make matters worse, the catalog business began to falter too in the 1960s. After 113 years, the company closed its catalog business in 1985. They also began to renovate their stores, dabbling now into electronics. The success was fleeting, though, as the 1990s brought bankruptcy, a Hail Mary restructuring, and eventually liquidation and closure followed in 2001. In 2004, the logo, name, and intellectual rights were sold. Today, Ward's is a direct mail business that operates in the same vein as the original Montgomery Wards, except these days they're at wards.com. While Montgomery Ward couldn't survive with a changing society, they did change society with their new concepts of better, smarter shopping. And today, when we click a product online and hold it in our hands, the following day, we can remember that Montgomery Ward started that revolutionary shopping system. Thanks for watching Remember When. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story, looking back over the landscape of Americana.